Please, I just need one more week, Elena whispered into her phone, her voice breaking as tears streamed down her face. I promise I'll find a way. The hospital cafeteria at 3 a.m. was nearly empty, just flickering fluorescent lights and the hum of vending machines. Elena Morgan sat in the corner booth, her nurse's scrubs wrinkled from a double shift, her hands trembling as she ended the call. She didn't notice the man in the expensive suit standing by the coffee machine, watching her with quiet concern. Marcus had built an empire by the age of 33, transforming struggling hospitals into profitable institutions. His mother always said he had his father's brilliant mind, but had lost his father's warm heart somewhere along the way. Tonight, finishing paperwork in his new acquisition, St. Mary's Hospital, he'd come down for coffee, expecting silence. Instead, he found this young nurse sobbing as if her world was ending. "You okay?" The words left his mouth before he could stop them. Elena's head snapped up, eyes wide with embarrassment. She quickly wiped her tears. "I'm fine. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb anyone." Marcus should have walked away. That's what the old Marcus would have done. But something in her voice, that particular kind of brokenness he remembered from his own mother's cries after his father died, made him sit down across from her. "I'm Marcus, and you don't look fine." She laughed, a hollow sound. "Is it that obvious?" She took a shaky breath. "I'm Elena, and I'm about to lose everything." Over the next hour, the story spilled out. Elena's parents had died in a car accident 2 years ago, leaving them their house and their massive debt. She'd been working triple shifts, but her uncle and aunt, who'd always resented her parents, were now claiming they had a right to the property. They'd found some old disputed will, hired expensive lawyers, and were threatening to have her evicted within days. She had no money for legal help, no family to turn to. "I've lived in that house my whole life," she said softly, staring at her cold coffee. "My mom's garden is still there, Dad's workshop. It's all I have left of them." Marcus listened, something unfamiliar stirring in his chest. When she finally apologized for unloading on a stranger, he simply said, "Sometimes strangers are easier to talk to." The next morning, Marcus couldn't focus on acquisition reports. He kept seeing Elena's face, hearing the resignation in her voice. His assistant, Margaret, noticed immediately. "Mr. Marcus, you've read that same page 4 times. "Margaret, do we have lawyers on retainer?" "Of course. Why?" He made a decision that surprised even himself. "I need them to look into a property case, quietly." What Marcus discovered made his blood boil. Elena's uncle, Robert Morgan, had a history of exploiting family members. The disputed will was a forgery, not even a good one. But Robert knew Elena couldn't afford to fight it, so he was counting on her simply giving up. That evening, Marcus returned to the cafeteria at the same time. Elena was there again, staring blankly at her untouched dinner. "Mind if I join you?" She looked up, surprised. "Oh, the stranger from last night. Sure." They talked about safer things this time, her work in pediatrics, his complicated relationship with his mother. Elena mentioned how the children on her ward made everything worthwhile, how their resilience inspired her. Marcus found himself sharing things he never told anyone. How he'd thrown himself into work after his father's death, how he'd pushed his mother away because her grief reminded him of his own. "She tried to tell me once that success means nothing if you have no one to share it with," Marcus admitted. "I told her she didn't understand business." "Do you think she was right?" Elena asked gently. He looked at this nurse who'd worked herself to exhaustion caring for others, who was about to lose everything but still showed up with a smile for sick children. "Yeah, I think she was." 3 days later, Elena received a certified letter. Her hands shook as she opened it. Inside was a legal document stating that her uncle's claim had been investigated and dismissed. The forged will had been exposed. The house was legally, permanently hers. There was also a check, enough to cover all her parents' remaining debts. The note simply read, "Sometimes kindness appears when we least expect it. You deserve to keep your home." By a friend. Elena knew. Somehow she knew. She found Marcus in his office the next afternoon, standing at the window overlooking the city. When she knocked, he turned, and she saw something different in his eyes, something softer. "You didn't have to do that," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "Yes, I did." "Why? You don't even know me." Marcus was quiet for a long moment. "My father used to say that we're measured by what we give when no one's watching. After he died, I forgot that. You reminded me." Elena stepped closer. "I can't possibly repay you." "I don't want repayment, but maybe you could help me with something. Anything. Teach me how you do it, how you show up every day, exhausted and overwhelmed, and still find kindness for others. I want to remember how to be that person." Over the following months, something beautiful unfolded. Elena and Marcus became genuine friends. She helped him reconnect with his mother, sharing quiet dinners where Margaret cried happy tears at having her son back. Marcus funded a legal clinic at the hospital, helping other staff members trapped in impossible situations. He started walking the hospital floors, learning names, hearing stories. One evening, a full year after that 3 a.m. meeting, they stood together in Elena's mother's garden, now blooming again after months of care.
"You know what the funny thing is?" Elena said, watching the sunset paint the sky gold. "I thought I'd lost everything, but I found something I didn't know I was missing." "What's that?" "Hope. Real human connection. The reminder that kindness still exists." She turned to him. "You gave me back my home, Marcus. But more than that, you gave me back faith in people." Marcus smiled, thinking of his mother's words at dinner the previous week. "You finally look like yourself again, son, like the boy your father raised." "You gave me something too," he said softly. "You showed me that wealth isn't what you keep, it's what you share. That real success is measured in the lives you touch, not the empires you build." They stood in comfortable silence, two people who'd found each other in the darkest hour and discovered that kindness, genuine human kindness, was the most powerful force in the world. Elena glanced at him, her eyes bright. "Thank you for seeing me that night, for not walking away. Thank you for reminding me who I wanted to be." The garden bloomed around them, a testament to care, patience, and the beautiful truth that sometimes, when we extend kindness to others, we heal ourselves in the process. In helping Elena save her home, Marcus had found his own way back to his heart, his mother, his humanity. The moral was simple but profound. Kindness isn't just about saving others. Sometimes, in the act of giving, we save ourselves. When we choose compassion over indifference, connection over isolation, we discover that the greatest wealth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in moments like these, standing in a blooming garden with someone who reminds us that we're all worth saving, and we all have the power to be someone's light in the darkness. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's spread more stories of kindness and hope together.